Hey, hold on a minute. There's something... I guess there's a couple of things I want to double check. Well, one of them's not really significant, I guess.
Huh?
First off, this machine. We didn't even end up using this thing, did we?
Yeah, I just said that. Well, if you're watching this in the future, I thought it would have been last part, which you guys should have watched. You know?
I was just wondering what it was.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to answer that. Look inside here. There's a name or something. IG Replicator.
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
So it's like a copy machine.
Yeah. Probably copies IG, whatever that is.
It copies the anime studio's animation production IG. Any ideas?
Who knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
That would be ICG. Of course! This machine must be here so we can just make all the ice cream we want. Are you nuts? You're one idiotic girl, you know that? In other words, NIG.
Oh, good one.
Hey, this isn't the time for stupid jokes. There's a helpless child back there in the infirmary who needs our help.
Wait. Dio. You actually care about someone? Wow. He was right, of course. I hung my head in shame.
At any rate, as long as we don't know what IG means, we can't do anything with this machine, right?
That's right.
Makes sense. On to the second issue. Sigma, you found a journal and some sort of vial in the safe, right?
Yeah.
The vial. Could you show it to me again?
Why?
I didn't really get a good look at it before. You guys were in there so close I could barely see it. Was it really Axelavir?
Yeah, definitely. As I spoke, I pulled the vial out of my pocket. See? It's right here on the right. It's written right there on the label. Axelavir.
You really are an idiot. Although I guess in this case the G in IG stands for guy.
What? I don't... The words were barely out of my mouth when he moved. Before I could blink, the vial disappeared from my hand. Hey! What gives?
What are you doing?
Dio slipped the vial quickly into his coat.
Oh, don't worry. I'll keep it safe. I'll even give it back to you later.
No, not later. Give it back now.
I don't think so. If you want it back, you're gonna have to listen to my request.
Request?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you want this back, in the next AB game, you have to choose ally.
Okay, yeah, Dio, we know what you do. You always choose betray. And, if I remember correctly, there are two of us here and only one of you. We can easily outpower you. I, or in case Sigma, can friggin' hold you by the arms while Clover grabs the Axelavir and we can get out of here. Why are we doing this? Well, why aren't we, using our surroundings to, take advantage of Dio? Like, we have the advantage. Ally? Wait, is that why you took the medicine? To blackmail me?
That's horrible! You're using Quark's life as leverage!
Well, I've got some really good reasons to do so. I'll be happy to give it back if you just do what I say.
I didn't realize until they started to hurt. Wait. Oh, I didn't realize until they started to hurt that I curled my hands into fists. If Dio would only give me an opening.
I wouldn't try and take it back by force if I were you. You make any sudden moves and I'll smash it.
Really? He pats his pocket gently.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Axelavir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
Like, seriously, once we get out there and, like, we get someone alone, we can, you know, have them, like, tell the others and make up a plan and, you know, and surround Dio to get the Axelavir back. Like, if that was me, I would have done that. Like if we get back there and, you know, one of them suggests, oh hey, let's look around while we still got time left, you know. And if we are with somebody else, I would tell them. I would tell them, like, hey, Dio has a bottle of Axelavir, you know. Let's try to make a plan and get it from here. Don't tell anyone else. I mean, go tell everyone except Dio, and tell them that after the results of the AB game, surround him. Have Kate hold him up. Alright, right? Yeah. Have Kate hold him up by the arms and, like, who could be strong enough to hold him by his legs? I guess Sigma would. I guess I would hold him by the legs, and then everyone else would go and grab the Axelavir from Dio's pockets. There. I created a plan. I created a plan to get the Axelavir back. But I doubt they're gonna follow that plan. Damn it.
That's not fair.
This game isn't about compassion. It's not about being clever. It's about one thing. How well you can manipulate people to your advantage. How unfair you can be. So, what are you gonna do? Ready to promise me you'll pick Ally?
I ain't promising you nothing. Fine. I promise. With my fingers crossed behind my back, my toes crossed, my tongue's crossed. Yeah, no.
Sigma!
Oh, I knew you'd say it eventually. I'm glad you understand how this works. But don't think about trying anything funny. Break your promise and, well, you know what happens.
Dude, I already figured out a plan to get it back. Oh. Like, if I was, like, in the game, like, this would be running through my mind.
See you chumps later. I'm really looking forward to the next round.
With one last self-satisfied chuckle, Dio strutted out of the room. Anyone? His back is turned right now. We can freaking tackle him to the ground. Like, Sigma, tackle him to the ground. Clover, go inside pockets and get it back. Oh.
Are you really going to do what he says?
Yeah.
Sigma, you've only got one BP right now. If we choose Ally and he chooses Betray...
I know. I dropped to -1. And that means I'll get penalized.
But that means...
Look, it's not like I want to, alright? If we don't do as he says, then he'll destroy the medicine. If he does that, then Quark will.
So you're going to die to save his life? That's... Why would you do that?
In all honesty, I was terrified. My choice was far from foregone conclusion. Well, We should get back to the upper floor. Everybody else is probably finished already. I bet they're waiting for us. I didn't wait for Clover's response. And we can't skip any of this.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
Sorry. I went ahead and cracked it open a bit early.
Dio. In one of his hands was the moon key. He twirled it around like a veteran gambler, grinned, and slid it back into his pocket.
You don't mind, right? I figured you and Clover would get up here right away. Besides, I thought it'd be best to get this done soon before you lose your nerve. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to the next round.
I glanced around the warehouse. Alice and Kay were back. Alice was Spy. And of course, Clover. Where'd Tenmyoji and the rest of them?
They're in the infirmary.
We carried Quark to one of the beds. Tenmyoji and Luna are looking after it.
I see.
How's he doing?
Well, it's hard to say. He seems to be sleeping soundly, but beyond that, there's really no way to know.
No change then, huh?
Right. So what was your room signal?
A laboratory.
Is that so?
Did it look like the kind of place where they'd be researching viruses and DNA and those kinds of things?
Yeah, it did.
Was there any of that Axelavir?
Like, I would say no, and then give her a side wink. Just like, no. Like in a way that, you know, Dio can't see. Just like, no, wink at her. And just like my back is facing her. Just, you know. I mean, my back is facing Dio.
Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Axelavir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
My eyes flickered to Dio for a moment. No. Nothing. Beside me, Clover bit her lip.
I see.
So how'd I go with you? Find anything interesting? Violet shook her head. With the use of a movement that almost looked choreographed, Alice and Kay shrugged.
Where does that leave us? We still got about 40 minutes left until voting ends.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a little curious about that lab you found. I thought I might go take a peek at it.
I'll I'll show you the way then.
That would be wonderful.
I think I'll go have a look at the room Alice K and Temioji found. Never know. Maybe you missed something. Perhaps there's some Axelavir hidden somewhere in there.
Oh, Dio. Dio, if I have my hands on you, oh. Ugh. What a bastard.
And I shall take you there.
What about you two? Where are you going?
Well, I think I'll start by heading over to the infirmary to see how Quark's doing.
Then I will too.
Yes,
Glad
yes.
that's settled.
Fi, I need to tell you. She nodded to Clover, and they disappeared through the magenta door. DOK followed these footsteps back behind. Tell her. Okay then. Guess we should be going too.
Hold on. Show me that journal first. Dio told me about it. You wouldn't tell me anything about the lab except that you found a journal with, his words, some sort of bullshit language.
Yo, there is no one around. Sigma, tell her.
You said you had it, so I was hoping I could take a look.
Yeah. One sec. I dug the journal out of my pocket and handed it to Fi. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one.
This is Latin.
Latin? You mean you can read it?
Yeah, with time and a dictionary.
So in other words, no.
Pardon me for not being able to translate a dead language on the fly. This looks like some kind of research log. It's not going to be some sort of, I took the dog for a walk today. It was nice kind of stuff. I can understand a little of it, mostly conjunctions and things like that. But most of these words I've never even seen before.
Fi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. Then suddenly she stopped.
Wait.
Huh?
I can read this one. Page 216.
Page 216.
This isn't research notes. It looks like a personal entry.
What's it say?
Don't rush me. This is gonna take a minute. Interesting. Alright, I think I got it.
Wait. Was that thing always on Fi's coat? That silver
It
thing?
looks like they're talking about Radical 6.
I never noticed that. What? Why are they talking about that?
Not sure. Let me read it to you. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing.
When the body is infected with Radical 6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. If we assume the brain currently operates on a one-to-one basis with regards to time, Radical 6 is reduces this to 1 square root. Is it square root 1/6? I think it is square root 1/6, or approximately 1 to 0.408. This means for each second that passes outside, the patient only feels 0.408 seconds have passed inside. Therefore, once 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds, or square root 6 seconds, have passed outside. In other words, when 10 seconds pass in the real world, a patient infected with Radical 6 would feel if only 4 seconds have passed. This is why the virus has been termed Radical 6. Radical is another term for what is known as the root operation, the function inverse to intaking of power. In a less mathematical sense, it can also be used to refer to something that is extremely severe. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is as of yet no direct link between suicidal urges and the reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. And I thought she was paraphrasing this. This is not paraphrasing. Those infected with Radical 6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch, as if it were a video cassette being fast-forwarded. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds has passed, in fact, 24.5 seconds have passed. Given this increased speed input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task. One theory holds that the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with massive amount of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. Whatever the cause, the infected variable attempt to take their own lives, in which arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a targeted antiviral could kill or at least disable Radical 6, but we have been unable to develop one. It seems our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we have unable to locate a suitable subject, so I have continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predict that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. The bodies of those dead from suicide are piled up along the roads leading into and out of town. The entire area reeks with the stench of decay, and the sky fills with constant buzzing of flies. At times their swarms are so thick that when one passes, it feels as if a cloud has gone over the sky. Every day I see more crows and rats are everywhere, feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy looking creatures are the stray cats who have grown fat on a plentiful rodent diet. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by government in the underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is the only hope that remains for the future human race. Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one. That was not paraphrasing. Absolutely not. Whoa, that's a lot of information. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by the root of 1/6. That's what, about 40%?
That isn't the important part. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide.
Yeah, you're right. That would explain why Quark was, well, trying to kill himself.
There are two other things in here that worry me. First, the part about how they haven't managed to develop a treatment for it yet. What do you make of that?
What am I supposed to make of it? Maybe they just hadn't found one when this journal was written? I mean, from what we know, there was a drug called Axelavir that cures it.
Exactly. But in the journal it says it might take 20 years to make something like that.
Hold on a second. I'm getting confused. When was this thing even written?
December 29th. No year.
Well, there's no way it was written this year.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, moving on. The second concern I have is about the underground shelters it mentions. The newspaper article said something about quarantining people, too. After we read it, we all thought the same thing. What if this was one of those quarantine facilities? But this journal seems to suggest the opposite. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters.
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters? Which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected. We would have been thrown in here to keep us safe.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to say for sure at this point, but it seems possible.
But Quark's been infected, right?
And maybe the virus got in somehow.
That would be bad.
Just think about it for a minute. If this is one of those shelters, a lot of things start to make sense. Maybe we've been here for a long time. Like, maybe they put us to sleep somehow. Made us sleep for years, maybe even decades. While we were sleeping, the pandemic that the newspaper article talked about happened. And whoever had this journal made this entry.
And then, once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up?
Right. It's all just speculation, but...
No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it seems like a pretty plausible scenario, but... we were all captured before the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
And how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they known to do that? But most importantly, why the hell are we playing the Noni game if the point of this place is to save us? Throwing a bunch of people into a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
We don't have enough information to make any real conclusions. I think we should see if we can find anything else.
Vi had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, weren't you coming to the infirmary with me?
Changed my mind. You can tell me about Quark later.
And with that, she went in. She was gone. Man. I let out a long, tired sigh. It started off towards the infirmary. How's he doing?
He seems to be stable, as far as I can tell.
Still sleeping.
I see. Mind if I have a look?
Please, go ahead.
Walks over to him. I made my way around the partition to the side of Quark's bed. The journal and the thing Fi and I had talked about would definitely need to be addressed. But for the moment, the AB game was what I need to concentrate on. Lives were at stake. Mine and Quark's. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. If the journal was telling the truth, then as soon as the anesthetic wore off, Quark would go insane again. What if we weren't able to restrain him a second time? What if he managed to kill himself before we got to him? Or perhaps he just got out of the infirmary and go hide somewhere. On the other hand, it wasn't like we could keep anesthetizing him forever. That was a difficult word to say. There was only one way to save Quark, and that was with Axelavir. Unfortunately, Dia stole it. If we wanted to get it back, Clover and I would have to vote ally. But if I did that, there was an excellent chance I would end up dead. The question was, then, what to do? Sacrifice myself to save Quark? or keep quiet about the danger he was in to save myself. A difficult choice for both me and Sigma to make. It was so faint, I almost didn't hear it.
Grandpa. Grandpa.
Yo, he's waking up. He shifted a little, then fell silent again. It was enough, though. What on earth had I been thinking? How could I even consider letting a child die in my place? Suddenly, my cheeks felt hot with embarrassment and disgust. That I had considered letting Quark die. Even for a minute, I was pathetic. There was only one choice. There had only ever been one choice. No way was I going to leave Quark to die. My hands tightened into fists as I looked down at him. Any uncertainty I had felt before was gone. I knew what I had to do.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Looks like it's almost time. You two should head back.
What about you?
Not going. I'm worried about Quark.
But you're a solo. If you don't vote...
I'll automatically ally. I know. I heard the voice on the intercom just like you.
What are you going to do if Kay and Al's vote betray?
Nothing, I suppose. Just means I lost that round. I'd just be voting ally anyway. You know who my opponents are, right? Alice only has one BP left. If I pick betray and they chose ally, I'd kill her. I'm not so desperate to escape that I'm gonna kill someone for it. And even if I was, I can't leave Quark behind. You see? Doesn't matter if I go into the AB room or not. My vote's the same either way.
Tenmyoji's mind was made up. Trying to persuade him to leave would have been pointless. Alright. Take care of Quark.
Of course. You worry about yourself.
Let's go.
Okay.
Luna and I headed out for the infirmary, leaving Tenmyoji and Quark behind. When we got to the warehouse, found everyone else waiting for us. Well, not quite everyone. One other person was missing. Hey, where's Dio?
Take a look at the doors.
They are closed. When we came in before, the one on the far right was open.
And that would mean...
That he went in, I guess.
Exactly.
That bastard. He probably been worried I might try and take the Axelavir from him by force, so he hid himself inside the AB room. What a coward. I made up my mind to choose ally, no matter what. But a part of me still considered trying to jump Dio if he dropped his guard, which he had many times. Now he made sure I wouldn't get the chance to try.
Where's Tenmyoji?
Oh,
Luna explained Tenmyoji's choice.
I see. Well, I guess that means I don't have to worry about him picking Betray.
Right. What will you guys be choosing then?
Ally, of course.
Because my BP is 6, I assume.
Yes. As long as Tenmyoji votes Ally, I can't choose Betray. If I do, K's BP will go up to 9.
But what if he forces you?
You needn't worry. I would never do something so crass.
Really?
I don't know, I wouldn't trust a guy in a metal suit of armor.
Of course.
Then you don't need to go in there.
Excuse me?
Alice can vote by herself. Then we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Well,
So you were planning to force it, right? Does that sign means yes?
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't agree to that.
Why not?
I just can't.
Because you were going to force her, weren't you?
Shall we go, Alice?
Because you were planning to force her, weren't you? Tell us.
Hey, hold on a minute there.
Kate continued briskly towards the AB room as if he simply hadn't heard fire. Alice scrambled to follow him, perhaps concerned that he would lock her out. Only seconds later, they disappeared into the third room from the left.
I hope Alice is going to be okay.
Well, there's nothing we can do now. If Kay told the truth, she'll be fine.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Time's almost up. Come on, Luna.
Right.
They headed off at a trot towards the second room from the right, and they were soon out of sight inside it. Alright, Clover. Time for us to go.
Oh, okay. Right behind you.
I sighed to myself and head towards the leftmost AB room. Let's do it.
What are you gonna do?
I don't really have a choice, do I? There's only one thing I can do. I'm going to choose Ally.
You can't! You'll die!
Well, you never know. Just because Dio told us to ally doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pick Betray. Even though almost, I believe, every single time in the past timelines he has chosen Betray. So it's highly that he might will choose Betray.
Do you really think a jerk like that is going to choose Ally if he doesn't have to? No. No way. He's got 6 BP right now. If he picks Betray, then he'll have 9 points.
Well, what about you?
Huh?
You got 6 BP too, right? Dio chooses Ally, and we choose Betray. Then you'd have 9 BP.
What? No, that's not... I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. I'm just trying to tell you that Dio is going to pick Betray. That's who he is.
And I'm trying to tell you that I made up my mind. That's who I am. The only choice is Ally. It's the only chance we have to get that medicine back.
That's why Dio called you an IG. What makes you think he's going to give us the Axelavir, even if you do what he says?
Maybe you're wrong, but I can guarantee that he'll destroy it if I pick Betray. That's who he is.
Fine. If you aren't gonna listen to me, then I guess I don't have a choice. I'll be pushing that button.
Huh? Before I realized what was going on, Clover ducked past me and ran towards the voting machine. No! Stop! I snatched her up by the arm and hauled her backwards with all my strength.
Ow!
Sorry. Guess that was a little too hard, huh?
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You can't just throw a girl around like that.
Well, you're the one who tried to trick me.
But you're gonna die. Dio's going to kill you. You can't do this. I don't want you to die.
Ten seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Thanks. It means a lot to hear you say that, Clover. I gave her my best reassuring nod and turned to face the polling machine.
3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Clover and I stepped out of the AB room. For several long moments, where we just stared at one another. Words were necessary. Everything she would try to tell me, I could already see in her eyes. Let's go. I turned and headed towards the result screen.
Sigma.
I heard her behind me, her voice barely louder than a whisper. The choice was already made. I stood up straight and kept walking. Of course.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What?
Sigma's BP is...
Negative.
Suddenly all eyes were on me. I felt their weight, but stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist. barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Sopero. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumbled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift the sheets of a lead. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in front of the number 9 door. Damn it. You'll keep your promise. God damn it. I groaned and with a Herculean effort lifted my head, then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow I forced myself, a single thought burning in my mind. I would reach Dio. Then, at last, the smudge of color faded into a recognizable person. I threw out my hand in front of him. Give it back. Give me the medicine.
Give it back? Don't act like it's yours. Aren't we supposed to share everything we find here?
I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
What are you talking about?
We found the Axelavir in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What?
You mean he has it? Right now?
Yeah. So?
I kept my promise. Now, you... I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There wasn't a chance he wouldn't give us back the Axelavir. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. I gathered as much of my mind as I could and got ready to attack.
Fine.
Not quite what I'd been expecting.
Here.
With a shrug, he pulled the bottle out of his pocket and tossed it towards me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle to my chest, worried I might drop it. The label said unmistakably Axelavir. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out towards her.
Right. Of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Good. Now at least Quark will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me, and I dropped to my knees.
Sigma! Are you okay? Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it.
First, is this over real? Which puts you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocurin is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
"9 minutes. Once the Sopro was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxation followed it. About 4 minutes had already passed, which left me with 5, give or take a little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh. Even with death staring me in the face, I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what low consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. How could I save myself? How? There had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just had to think. Think. If there was another way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on life yet. There had to be an answer. To be continued. We're not done with this timeline yet.